Hi everybody, welcome to Saturday Live at the Backyard Bird Center. Today I'm addressing, probably in the 20 years of this store being open, the most commonly asked question. And that is when someone comes in and buys a bird feeder, especially first time people, they want to know, where should I hang this feeder? Where should I place this feeder? My bird bath, they buy a bird bath. Where should I place the bird bath? Obviously, they want to get the most usage. My reply, and I'm going to talk about this, a couple of different scenarios that can differ this scenario a bit, but number one, you'll hear me say, is put the feeders in the bird bath where you can see it and you can get the most enjoyment out of it. Whenever we do surveys of why people feed birds, by far, number one is because they do it because they love seeing them and they want to enjoy the birds that they're at their feeders. So it's for their personal enjoyment is why they're putting the bird feeder up. So why would you put a bird? You cannot see it well. So definitely the first criteria for placing a bird feeder is definitely place it where you can see it. This is my backyard, and this is years ago when I set my feeder pole. You can see, I don't know if you can see, the landscaping is not finished, or there's some fencing and stuff. This was like the day I put my bird feeder poles in the ground. But I wanted to show this picture because of this angle. And you can see, those are my family room windows right there. So I placed my bird feeder setup where we can get the maximum enjoyment out of it. Now there's another reason I put that there, and that is, it's close enough to the windows that when birds get flushed by, say, the Cooper's hawk comes flying through the yard and flushes them, they don't have enough speed built up to get hurt when they hit if they do fly that direction and bang into the window. I get a lot of thumps on the window, but they're soft thumps, and I've always checked, and I have yet to find one dead bird, from hitting or being stunned, because they're just not hitting the windows with enough speed. Now, birds that get killed, there's a whole nother video of this about birds crossing your yard and flying into your windows at full speed. Those are the ones that get killed. But placing it, the message is where you can enjoy them. Now, the second rule of thumb that when I talk to you about where you're going to place your bird feeders is I always ask about cover. And there's lots of examples of that, and that is, you see these trees, how close they come down. This is also my feeder in the springtime, obviously, but there's escape cover right there. The birds who are feeding at my feeders feel safe because they know they can zip really fast into those trees and to get away from a would-be predator. And also they can sneak in, they can fly in and ease their way down the tree limbs, look around, check the surroundings out for a would-be predator, and then they fly over to the feeders. So I got a good picture here from my friend Brian, his yard. This is he's got a pole rig set up on his deck. Now, he could have put that at the other end of the deck, or but he's got it at this end. Look how close the tree limbs are above these feeders. That makes those birds feel safe. So this end of the deck was better than the other end of the deck. Now, hopefully it's where you can see them easier as well. But you raise those birds' confidence level by having those feeders near some limbs and some escape cover. Now, we feed a lot on the ground. I've got a couple of good pictures here. Oh, here's one example on their deck, and they've got their feeders around. They got a cut over their deck. I think they call it a pergola over the deck. And so, of course, it's snowing, very stressful, and the birds are here. But there's a lot of man-made cover there for them to be able to escape through and hide and get away from would-be predators. So they feel confident there, but also the seeds are all falling down there. It's a great setup for birds. Look at all the cardinals and juncos and oh, that's a really nice setup in the snow for the snow. But when it comes to open areas, now this is a great setup here, customer's yard. And you can tell that she has made up for the lack of cover by landscaping around under her feeders, near her feeders, which increases the bird's confidence in hiding places there. Now she's got trees all around, but here close to her feeders, she's got some native landscaping going on in there to help them build confidence and hide in there. If you have wide open space, like in this case, you can see how open it is on the ground underneath it, and there's a fence. And there's some bushes back here, but it's pretty open on the ground. But they still has cover. He's still got some shrubs back here along the edge, and that works well to bring him in. When is this where is the exception to this rule I was warning you I was going to talk about? And that is one of my least favorite topics to talk about, because I always get people mad at me. And that is talking about house cats. Free roaming cats kill hundreds of millions of songbirds every year. And they do that a lot around bird feeders because people aren't protecting against them, and they're not expecting free roaming cats in the neighborhood because there's leash laws and things like that. Well, in this case right here, I want to show this is actually a good scenario if he has cats, because the cats don't have anywhere to hide around the base of the feeders. The rules are keep as much seed off the ground as you can if you have cats, and also keep your feeders more out in the open, which is breaking my rule of putting your feeders close to cover. But those birds need to be able to see those cats sneaking up on them. If there is that brush and underbrush here that the cats can hide under and pounce on your birds, then that's a death trap. So first off, don't have free roaming cats. They should be kept indoors, obviously. But I know I had a call just recently. I had 2 calls in 1 week about their neighbor's cats killing his birds, and it's a bad situation. And trying to get the neighbor to keep the cats from roaming over in his yard is very hard to do. So you have to be proactive and kind of help protect your birds by the placement of your bird bath and your bird feeders, and that is get them more out in the open than you normally would. So, the rule of thumb, cover is the best. You want good cover, the birds feel more confident, you're protecting them. If you don't have a good cover naturally, like Ruth does, Ruth's got a lot of cover in her yard, you can build cover. And I have tried. Here's Carrie's yard. This is a brush pile she has built. She got a bird feeder pole over here, or a bird bath here on her deck, and she does some feeding in there. But her yard is very, very open. So building this brush pile has been essential for Carrie to help attract a lot of birds, especially cardinals, which cardinals are, when you're bright red, you're going to be a target for a predator like a Cooper's hawk. So this helps the cardinals come in with confidence and be able to feed, and then be able to get away if something does come along and scares them into there. So you can build a brush pile if you don't have natural cover. Landscaping is always an option for that. But again, rule number 1, make sure that you can see your bird feeders and you can enjoy them, because that is the most important thing. They're great education tools. They're great relaxation tools. We love our bird feeders, and we hope you do too. So that was a great idea for a program. Hope you enjoyed it. Give us a like, give us a share. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. Send in ideas for future programs. And until then, come on, let's talk birds.